Hello, Palians. Today I want to bring you the patch notes for patch 0.169. It was released September 26th, and we have a few things to go over. We have new outfits in the store. The Magi Market is now gone. Zeki's Underground Black Market has been completely revamped. Our bathtubs and sinks now have flowing water, and unfortunately, the celebration cake parties have been rebalanced. So let's get into the outfits. These outfits are absolutely adorable. The Sylph bundle, the Starfall, Vine Glade, and Bright Bloom outfits, I will have all of them. That's probably what I'm going to be rocking from now on. The all you have to have is the one piece for the butterfly trail effect. So yeah, that's gonna be the it. Everybody's gonna have that one, I think. Most people. The folk flowers bundle, we have poppy, sunflower, and cadolia. We have the smoking jacket bundle, which is the silken stems, printed plaid, and crocheted checks. And then last but not least, we have everyday flair, which includes classically sleek, embroidered elegance, and gorgeous ginkgo. And they are all very cute. They did also add PayPal support for in-game purchases, so that should be easier for a lot of players to access. So let's get into some quality of life and new features. Now that the event's over, they have started doing other things in the game, such as revamping the black market. It's been completely redone. It looks really cool. It looks beautiful in this area. I love this area. It's gorgeous. I'm guessing this is Wraith's setup here. But a couple of things about the black market. The duplifier that's in Zeki's house will now be down here too. There'll be two locations. And Wraith will now have a proper counter to work at, so it's really good. It's a good change. They have also added a kneel emote, which I think is cool. I love emotes. We need more of them. And then this is super, super neat. Look at this, guys. Running water. And whoever designed this did a wonderful job. I mean, that looks fantastic. That is a nice change. I think it really brings some realism to the housing items. So next on the list we have we can now destroy crops. Is all you have to do is have your hoe out and right click and complete the animation. And that way you can change things on your garden. You don't have to wait until you harvest them out. Oh, yes. And crops will now grow without requiring you to go back to your house lot. So they'll continue to grow one stage per Palian day without the fertilizer. Like, the fertilizer makes the difference. They've also changed the imaging for the tomato and the apple seeds. These look a lot different, and you can really tell which is a tomato and which is an apple, so this is really necessary. They changed the UI for adjusting the door and wall styles, so that's really good. That's going to be helpful. I had some difficulty with the porches. I think my items were not being placed on them, or it was weird. It ended up working out. The recipes for hot hounds and crab gumbo are actually in the game now. They weren't coming up as before. Several items are now properly categorized as equipment rather than consumable. And in the workbench, the tool recipes have their own tab. So now that's so quality of life. That was so annoying to have to scroll all the way down. They go into some reasonings why they're making changes to the cooking recipes, and a lot of it just comes around to balancing, which is going to continue to happen through any kind of beta phase for any game. You know, remembering that this game is going to constantly evolve, you kind of expect these things to happen. So the celebration cakes will now sell for 40% less. And because it's going to sell for less, they've changed the recipe requirements and the sell values or buy and sell values for both the butter and the milk. So they've changed the any preserve to now any fruit, which is a lot easier to deal with. Plus, you don't have to waste the time turning it into the preserve. The recipe will now require sugar, and then they changed the pricings on butter and milk. And in addition to the celebration cakes, they've also reduced all of the sell values for cooking dishes. Uh, but with that, they also adjusted the focus values so that they reflect how much they sell for and or rarity. Like that is a really nice focus. You'll be able to get or it's a really nice balance. It'll work itself out. Like it some things you don't cook and it doesn't take a whole lot and it's only like a little bump. Other things you really cook for that. So gardening and fishing changes. They just changed the tooltip for Speedy Grow fertilizer so that it's more clear as to what it does. So what it does is it removes one Palian day of growth away, or adds adds a day to the growth, so it grows faster. And then they also changed how the worm farms and glowworm farms work. So we have the worm farms and glowworm farms will produce less from cooked dishes. They will produce more from star quality ingredients and dishes. And they will produce twice as much Speedy Grow fertilizer, which is nice because that was terrible. So for the mining changes, the biggest one, or the one that they did, was fixing the Paleo nodes. I noticed this right away that the medium and the small were not, they were the same. So this is going to be a nice change. It's going to be more XP, more Pallium to go around, and I'm pretty sure that these spawn a little bit more often than the larger ones. The foraging changes, basically they wanted to make the acorns, pine cones, samara, and juniper seeds worth more. Because let's face it, they just went either in storage or you put them out in your lot for a quick choppity chop 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 for some planks to grow your house. You really didn't do anything with these. So now as you're foraging, there's more of an incentive to actually stock these up and get them in your bin. Same with the oyster drops, pearls and green pearls have had their values increased as well. And silk has increased in price. So that's all things to consider when you're crafting and foraging. So I'm going to skip over the facts and questions, but I do want to go over the bug fixes. They mentioned here that there's over 100 known issues that they patched out and fixed this cycle. So that's a lot of hard work. Let's give our thanks to them. They work really hard to make this the best gaming experience possible. So thank you for fixing the bugs. I'm going to read these through and try to be quick about it. Crops with the water retain boost will now progress when you are on a different server for more than 2 days, 2 Palian days. Players can now acquire an Ember-born furniture recipe through one of the Temple of Flames bundles. If you have already completed the bundle, you will now find the first Ebon-born furniture available at your workbench. Sifu will now grant you a torch anytime you talk to her during the questline at Catalyze and Caper. Leaving and entering the Fire Temple too quickly no longer causes a long period of black screen. Hot hounds and crab gumbo recipes can now be discovered. As a hint, they can be found in the spaces of 2 certain villagers. The mushroom dinner recipe that had gone missing is now available again. The Dragon Tide folding screen will now appear as expected in the black market. Pickled corn and pickled spicy pepper now both have the correct descriptions. The floating relic quest item will no longer accidentally be consumed. If you had accidentally eaten this delicious looking relic, you will now find it returned to your inventory. Villagers who share that they would like to receive corn will now accept it as a gift. For the Learning the Ropes quest, Badru and Wraith no longer permanently mention that the player is now ready to speak to Kenley. The Magistrate and Tau are no longer missing from the Celebration cinematic. Bushes and trees now fall over after being chopped. The Emote Collection button no longer appears as a white box until it is clicked. Text in the report and kudos boxes is now easier to read. Sound and music no longer cut out at unexpected times. The housing plot teleport icon now appears on the compass and map as expected during the quest Welcome to Palia. The UI text is no longer cut off for the large quantities placed in your crafter. UI for the cooking minigames no longer randomly disappear. The emoji icon in the bottom right of the chat box is no longer missing. Interior wall grids no longer slightly misalign. The front door frame of the Daya family farm is no longer missing, which I thought was funny. I noticed that one. Some items such as the dragon wall clock are no longer missing textures. Clicking dismiss when receiving a friend or party request will now dismiss the requested as expected. Unfriending someone no longer sends an unexpected friend request. Players are now able to send messages in the community channel if they rejoin after leaving. The Regal Ballroom dress no longer shows incorrect black and blue colors in the store. When trying on clothes in the wardrobe, the color swatches no longer appear invisible. So, top known issues that are still issues. These are things that we know are happening and they are still working on. So Magic Market is ended, but some people haven't received their stamp card rewards and they do know about it. They're working on it. There are ongoing issues with general achievements, including darkened silhouettes for previously caught critters and rewards not being granted. The sushi recipe cannot be fished at this time. This was mentioned on Reddit. It was mentioned in the Discord. A lot of people were complaining for a really long time that they weren't getting this recipe and it's needed as much as you know. And so they've realized that it is bugged. We aren't going crazy. We aren't wasting all of our glowworms for, well, I mean, we were. But, I mean, we'll all live. We'll get over the glowworms. But yeah, it's bugged. They're going to fix it. It'll be okay. We'll get it. A big one in the garden, adding 99 fertilizers to all 9 slots of a gardening plot will make it uninteractable. This is still going on in the game. Please don't do that. Don't do that. That's silly. Interacting with the wardrobe while your character is stuck in the missing textures and T-posing appearance will cause your character to reset or change appearances permanently. If players have full inventories and they have space in their storage, they will receive a "wow, your inventory is full" error pop up when trying to pick up their house or housing add-ons. Having just one empty slot available in your inventory will allow you to move your house or housing add-ons. There is an expanded known issues list. I'm not going to cover that today, but I think it's a really good practice an idea to always check this. If you have any kind of experience where you think, something's not right here, check this page. It's right on Palia's website. Go take a look at the patch notes and compare it. See if it's something they already know about, and if it's not, get on Discord and let them know. So that's going to be it for me today. I really appreciate you taking time to watch this video. So let me know if it's something you want to keep seeing. Comment and subscribe. I'm Pristine NKB, and play on.